Hey, it's Josiah. So there is a primary coming up here in Iowa on June 2nd. So that's pretty close. And I've not been paying attention at all to any of it, really, in Iowa. National news has captured my attention quite a bit for obvious reasons, and I've been a bit oblivious about what's going on here in the state lately. So I decided to fix that. Since I am a low information voter this election, I've decided to bring in a high information voter, someone that knows Iowa politics better than I do. That's right, Justin Comer from Rock Hard Caucus is back for the first time in a few years now to tell me who I'm supposed to vote for. Who should I primary for? He's going to tell me. And through the process of telling me who to vote for, hopefully kind of help all of you outside of the state know which races to be keeping an eye on and get a feel for what's going on here in this state. It's not too great, admittedly, but yeah, the state is a bit damned.
Well, we all are going to die.
But maybe not. Maybe things are going to get better. We'll see. So here's an episode with Justin talking about that. But before we get to that, I do need to say that you can support this show on Patreon. For a mere $3 a month, you get access to a whole back catalog of exclusive episodes as well as 2 new ones each month. That's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. Here, I'll look at some Patreon episodes right now that you could listen to if you signed up. There's one from last month featuring Gaius from the YouTube channel Tribunet, the Roman history YouTube channel, to talk about some parallels between the present and Roman history. And specifically, we had the war in Iran in mind. It was a pretty interesting episode. On the Patreon, we also have the Music Exchange, which is an ongoing series, monthly series with Josh Christensen and I, where we both bring an album that's personally meaningful to us and we like compare and contrast them. And it's fun because my taste in music is usually like indie and emo stuff, and his stuff is usually metal. So it's always interesting to compare and contrast them. We had a really weird one last month where we talked about the Tony Hawk Pro Skater soundtrack alongside the soundtrack to Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? So that was kind of fun. Later this month, we'll have an episode where I brought Armed Forces by Elvis Costello and Josh brought Peace of Mind by Iron Maiden. We'll also periodically do some fun sports episodes on the Patreon, the Fruitless Sports Corner, which I'm hoping to have one of those out in June or so. Anyway, all that to say, it's fun. It's worth your money. But if you're not ready to support the show financially yet, that's okay. One thing you could do, though, is leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps out with the algorithm. And I might read your review at the top of an episode, like right here at this part of the episode. Okay. With all that out of the way, let's get on with the episode. Let's talk about Iowa politics and find out who I'm going to vote for. You're listening to Fruitless, a podcast hosted by me, Josiah Sutton. This is episode 87. Justin tells Josiah who to vote for, featuring Justin Comer from Rock Hard Caucus, the Iowa Politics Podcast. What does the Iowa podcast landscape look like? Because is it just like you guys?
It's you and it's me. That's it.
That's kind of what I figured. I'm sure there's others.
Yeah. There's locally in Iowa City, 2 counselors, Laura Burgess and Oliver Weilein, have been doing something regularly for the last few months, which is, I consider that to be a spinoff of my show, of course. And there is something called the Iowa Podcast, which I believe Jethro's Barbecue is like a sponsor of that.
Wasn't that It's like the Jethro's run by... Yeah, okay, that's what I was going to say. Because for those not in Iowa, Jethro's is owned by an alleged sex pest.
Yeah, Bruce Girlman, alleged by like many of his former employees.
Yeah. There's a great Aaron Calvin wrote a piece about that back in the day.
Yeah,
it was very
long time ago. That's a good one. That might be hard to find now because it was on Gavin's website, the Iowa Informer, which the server status is always up and down on that one. But anyway, for anyone local who wants to know more about the guy who owns Jethro's, I can probably dig that up for you. But yeah, the Iowa podcast is sort of like a weirdly like corporate thing. So my name, like my full name that I use as like an artist or media figure or whatever I am, Justin K. Comer. I like to use my middle initial as like a sort of faux pretentious kind of thing.
I do the same thing. I'm Josiah W. son. Yeah.
And this guy, Justin K. Brady, hosts the Iowa podcast. And it's a weird like doppelganger thing. And we could even talk about a specific thing that he did recently. He interviews like political candidates all the time. Mm-hmm. And just the premise, like there's an intro to this podcast where it's like, Iowa nice is how we govern ourselves. This show is all about like just having a nice conversation, no extremes, no like violent rhetoric or anything. And what that means, of course, is like I'm a conservative and I'm funded by like the biggest local businesses, and I do ad time for like the most evil people in our community.
Wow, that's so nice. That sounds like a great podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, the little bits of it I've listened to are just the antithesis of like anything I believe in.
Yeah, so I guess for like what left-wing podcasts out of Iowa, I think it's us. I think that's it. Mm-hmm. There was that podcast that followed me at one point. It was like 3 rural guys or something like that.
Those guys are like
left of center.
Yeah. I don't think that they're evil, but I don't know them personally.
They seemed nice. I'll say that. They're very polite liberals.
Yeah. My buddy Will Roberts is currently doing a Twin Peaks podcast that's recorded in Cedar Rapids. So there's another one.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I'm fine with that. I like Fruitless being like the weird Christian cousin of Rock Hard Caucus. You know?
Yeah.
When you don't really want to talk to at family gatherings, you know.
Yeah, I'm an apostate, so it's cool to have somebody who's like actually faithful, who's in the scene. Yeah,
barely, but a little bit. I was at an Episcopalian potluck earlier today, so that's cool. My bona fides there. Well, welcome everybody to Fruitless. We got Justin from Rock Hard Caucus. It's been too long since you've been on here. I realized it's been like 2 or 3 years. Yeah.
Last time I was on, I was angrily talking about Israel and the Iowa Democratic Party.
I think that's kind of perfect because so we're going to talk about the upcoming primary for Iowa here, and with the assumption that obviously a lot of you listening are not Iowans, kind of fill you in with what's going on here. And I do think that's a good thing to remember was the last time I had Justin on here was because the Iowa Democrat Party was going after a college Democrat Party for saying, let's not do a genocide in Gaza.
Yeah. This was like maybe 2-3 weeks after October 7th.
Yeah.
By the way, do people get mad at you for saying Democrat Party?
I guess what is it the Democratic Party? Excuse me.
I mean, some people get really upset about that. I think it's like there are super conservative people who make it a point to say Democrat Party every time, and I don't know if it actually means anything, but I see people get mad about it online.
They say it like they're making a point, but I don't know what the point is.
I don't know what. I don't know either.
Yeah, if somebody will chime in on the Discord after I post this and explain to me why.
Yeah, it's a dog whistle of some kind.
But no, national politics have been most of my attention the last few years for kind of obvious reasons. It's kind of hard not to focus on national politics.
A lot going on.
Yeah, a lot going on. And so as the primary started approaching, I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't know who any of these people are. Mm-hmm. So I brought Justin on to tell me who to vote for. That's the plan for this episode. I have gone to Ballotpedia. I have put in my address to see what my ballot's going to look like on June 2nd, and you're going to tell me who to vote for. Who are the good people? Are there any good people? We could spoil that now.
Come on. What do you think?
It's so annoying that we don't get a fucking Zoran or something here. It doesn't feel like we've got anyone running right now that feels like oh, here's the Iowa version of this like wave of progressives that's hopefully kind of coming, right? We don't seem to have one here.
Yeah, socialists in Iowa are either too lazy or too suppressed to ever gain any traction.
Yeah, I think the only guy I kind of like we'll come back to is Xavier Kerrigan.
Good. I was hoping that he might come up.
Okay, yeah, we'll come back to him. But he's, at least according to Ballotpedia here, I think you have to write him in, so that's not a good sign.
He didn't get enough signatures.
Yeah, that's a bummer. Because I've seen him, my main thing was I saw the headshot and went, I've seen him at a protest before. That's a good sign, at least.
Right.
But okay, I'm going to share my screen here.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Let's do this.
So this is kind of like, for anyone outside of Iowa, my role in the state is like, I'm the guy who tells people who they're supposed to vote for. That's like my job.
That's your main job. Yeah.
And I'm a big advocate of voting. So
yeah, that's your big thing. I've heard is you're always like vote. That's the main
really
way
important that you all get
happens.
out there to vote.
Yeah.
It's actually not only the main way. This is your only chance to participate in like America at all.
That's right. Yeah. In the words of Lenin, I think Lenin said you should vote. No, so let's see. If we're going just down the Ballotpedia, we start off with Senate here. And so these are the guys. And I realized recently I've got a little bit of median voter brain. I like to think I was above that, but I'm not.
Low info.
Yeah, low info. I got a little bit of it in me because my buddy Jackal from the show here, he's in New York, and it kind of asked me, so what's going on in Iowa? And he's like, who do you like? And I just kind of, without thinking about, because I've not been paying attention, but I've been seeing 1,000 Josh Turek ads without thinking. I was just like, well, Josh Turek kind of seems cool. And like
it works. Like
it works.
They pumped an insane amount of money into this. Like this is
so
probably
many ads.
This is like the main thing anyone knows is happening in this primary season is, oh, that guy in the wheelchair is running, because just millions and millions of dollars into ads, targeted ads. This PAC Vote Vets.
Oh, that's who did it.
Backed Josh Turek. And the point of controversy here, one, it's a PAC. It's sort of like a super PAC. Like they don't have to disclose their donors and everything. And, typically the PAC Vote Vets is supporting veterans for public office, which of course has its own sort of hairiness. But the thing is, Josh Turek himself is not a veteran. So it's sort of outside of their typical wheelhouse. But I mean, he's in a wheelchair because he has spina bifida, which I believe is the result of like his father was exposed to Agent Orange in Vietnam. So it was like a birth complication.
I know that from the ads.
Yeah, right. Of course, yes.
I was born an underdog. 21 surgeries by the age of 12. Spina bifida, caused by my dad's exposure to Agent Orange in Vietnam.
I mean, if you wanted to be like an asshole, you could argue about like, well, he's not a veteran, so he shouldn't be getting this support, so he shouldn't be appearing on my phone screen 24 hours a day. But the point being, it worked. Like they put him in your head, and so he's the guy.
So then my brain is just on autopilot, being like, well, I don't know, he's a strong guy in a wheelchair, he's had to fight throughout his life, and I know he's going to fight for me. Until I started actually looking at this a little more. So, so the two Democrats running for U.S. Senate right now in the primary here are Josh Turek and Zach Walz. You're not too excited about either of them, I've gathered from your podcast, right?
I don't really care what happens here. Zach Walz lives like a mile that way.
Yeah.
He lives near me, so that's who I'm voting for. That's my rationale.
The sniff test of just looking at campaign websites, I liked Walz more.
I'm Zach Walz. I'm a sixth-generation Iowan and a new generation of Democrat. I believe in the old Democratic values of hard work and family, not handouts for billionaires and insiders. Standing up for workers' rights and civil rights.
Based off just that, because he had more labor-y kind of stuff on it, but that itself is obviously an advertising thing.
And it's, definitely fake when it comes to him. Like, he is not a working class guy, really. I mean, broadly, if you want to consider the working class, anyone who's not like has $100 million, sure, he could be part of that. But he's sort of like there's like this ironworkers local who inducted him as like an honorary ironworker, which I feel is like kind of like sacrilegious.
That's
like,
awesome.
He's not an ironworker, but they like him, and it's like a political thing. So they've made him like a.
What do I got to do to get that?
Yeah, like, can we just... Is that how union membership works now?
That'd be cool. I'd love to join all the unions.
Yeah, collect them all. But yeah, Zach does have, like, on his face, like, a little bit more of a progressive platform. Nothing too crazy, but, like, he's courted the support of Elizabeth Warren. She came here and did a couple events with him. And Turek is from... Council Bluffs. Mm-hmm. He's from a traditionally, or at least for the past several cycles, a red district. So he has that going for him, that he like is somewhat seasoned when it comes to like competitive elections. He has a track record of beating Republicans at their own game, which also means, of course, that he has some bad votes on his record as a member of the state legislature.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah, see, it's interesting because everything I see like in quick summaries on like ballot or something is like frames it as Zach Walz is the progressive and then Josh Turek is like the guy courting moderates. But to me, that all seems more like it's a rhetorical style thing rather than like actually their views. Because if you look at their issues page, they pretty much believe the same stuff, which is like left of center stuff. There's some good things in there. And then all bad on immigration, because that's the one thing I guess that Democrats here feel they need to give in to the Republicans on.
It's it's like pretty across the board. Like, do you know who Nathan Sage is?
Not off the top of my head. Anyway.
Okay, so he was in the Senate primary before.
Okay,
and he was sort of like the insurgent, like, I don't know that he would style himself as like a further left guy, but that was kind of the deal. It was like, I'm a more like a gruff working class kind of guy. And like that was like front and center on his campaign website, was like, if we don't have a border, we don't have a country. Like the same shit that like the MAGA people say was like what he was saying. And it's like, what's the point of doing this sort of like, I don't have the backing of the establishment, I'm outside of the box. What's the point of running a campaign like that if you like aren't going to have the backs of immigrants? Like,
right. There are a lot of immigrants here. Like maybe, I don't know. Iowa has this conception of being a really white state, which it is, but that doesn't, but there are a lot of immigrant groups here still too.
Right. And if you're going to make like a sort of like class argument, like a big part of your campaign, like race is a big component. Like nation of origin is like a big component in class dynamics in this state as well. So if you're like a champion of the downtrodden, the underdogs, like that would be the immigrants in this state. Like those are the people that we should be supporting and like lifting up.
Yeah, but no, and I don't know if it's just is it just really this assumption that like, I guess Iowans are just too racist on this one. Because, like, I can understand not wanting to harp on immigration too much just to, like, try to win the election, because, that's, like, something Democrats have been unpopular about in the past. I understand, like, not bringing it up, maybe. But I don't understand being like, I'm actually a Republican about this.
Right. Yeah. That's the Democratic strategy, right? It's not like they haven't been good on immigration from, like, any real perspective. Like if you are an anti-immigrant bigot, they've not been particularly good. If you are an immigrant, they haven't been particularly good, like representing your issues. I think what's missing is like somebody on the stage saying like, it doesn't really matter where you come from, like we should just grant citizenship to basically anybody who steps across the border.
Sure, you can even like dunk this in some patriotism if you need to for the average voter. You can be like, here, if you're from anywhere, you can become American. That's what makes America great. Is you can be American if you come from anywhere. I don't know. You can do this.
That's the power of patriotism.
Yeah, it means nothing. You can apply it in any way you want.
But yeah, I do think that is the calculation. It's like, well, I have to win some racist votes to win an election, a statewide election in Iowa. I can't turn off all the racists.
I mean, and this is something I was saying, like, back during the Biden era when the Democrats were really bad about this, was like, you're never going to win the Republican vote on this one. Like, if somebody is an anti-immigrant bigot, they're just going to vote for the Republicans. There's like, you're not winning anyone over by doing this, I don't think.
Well, and yeah, the options presented to a voter are like really heinous immigration policy that gets children like ripped away from their parents and killed and stuff, versus like, well, that's let's go like not quite that far. Those are the two options. It's like, well, we'll
keep them with their family as we deport them into a war zone.
We'll kill all of them together. Yeah, not a lot of daylight between those two positions, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. So I don't know anything about the Republicans here, but I'm a swing voter, right? I got to consider all my options here. We got
these are 4 equal options in front of us.
Exactly.
Right?
At least how Ballotpedia is framing this. I've got these 4 options. I'm leaning Zach Walls right now, but we got Jim Carlin and Ashley Hinson. Do you know anything about? They seem really boring to me.
Yeah. Well, for anyone outside the state, a little background information. It's the primary that's coming up. So you're voting for the candidate to represent each party. And the thing is, if you go in there one time, registered as one party, you can vote in that primary. And then if you put on a disguise and you come back to the polling place and say that you're a different person, like give them your neighbor's name or something, then you can register for the other party and vote in that one.
And we are endorsing that you do this. This is a thumbs up. Fruitless and Rock Hard Caucus endorse you doing this.
Like I said, my job is to get people to vote, right? And like,
and the more you vote, the better.
If voting once is good, voting twice is twice as good.
But okay, I've got my Republican disguise on. Who am I voting for here?
Yeah, you got a flannel, basically. Ashley Hinson is an incumbent member of Congress from what is now our 2nd congressional district, sort of the northeast corner of Iowa. Yeah. She's from Cedar Rapids, used to be on the TV news. So that's basically how she got into office, is like we all had seen her on TV.
I'm Ashley Hinson. For years, I reported the news. Today, I can't even let my kids watch it.
Iowa mom, Ashley Hinson.
Washington politicians yelling, attacks on police, and socialists tearing down anyone and anything they disagree with.
I grew up in Cedar Rapids, by the way, so I was like, Ashley Hinson was like our local news anchor. We all looked at her. We loved her on TV every night. And then she got into I think she was a state senator. She was in the legislature. I forget which house. Doesn't really matter. And so she's been on the ascent for the past decade, just rising in the ranks. So now she's making a bid to go from Congress to Senate. I think she's likely the successor to Joni Ernst, who has decided to retire. This may have made the news outside of Iowa. She's the one who said, "We all are going to die," when a constituent asked her about Medicaid cuts.
That was so awesome.
People are not, well, we all are going to die.
Yeah, she's famous for that now. Also, you may have heard of her as like she goes to VA hospitals and like gets the wounded warriors to cheat on their spouses with her. Like there's a lot of open secrets about that. She's a real fun one.
She's one of the names that I do think, if you follow politics a lot, is recognizable outside of Iowa, because I at least when I had mentioned Joni Ernst, my Jackal, my buddy, and when like, oh yeah, I know her, I hate her. Yeah. Didn't she have the thing with the bread bags on her feet thing? Wasn't that like a thing everyone was making fun of her for at one point?
So she was elected to the U.S. Senate in 2014. I believe that's from a debate that she was in that year, where she was talking about wearing bread bags instead of like snow boots or something as a kid, just to prove that I was a poor person once, that kind of thing. But you also, if you're old like us, I don't actually know how old you are, Josiah.
I'm 29.
Okay, you're actually okay. You maybe don't remember this. She also had an ad and I think in the 2014 primary. So this was her trying to prove like I'm the real Republican voice in this race. And this is an ad that made it onto like the Daily Show, possibly even the Colbert Report. I don't know. But she did an ad that was all sort of about hog castration. And you can liken that to like pork spending in like legislative bills and stuff. So she said she wanted to be elected to Senate to, quote, make them squeal.
I'm Joni Ernst. I grew up castrating hogs on an Iowa farm. So when I get to Washington, I'll know how to cut pork. I'm Joni Ernst, and I approve this message because Washington's full of big spenders. Let's make them squeal.
Yeah, okay.
So she's always been fun.
Man, I wish she believed different things because she's really funny. I'll give her that.
Yeah. So anyway, I think Ashley Hinson's probably on track to be elected as her replacement. Jim Carlin is sort of like coming at her from like the populist right kind of angle.
Okay. Little post MAGA kind of paleocon type. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, kind of. And actually Hinson is sort of trying to pitch herself as like the bipartisan deal maker, which is very funny because like for the past, like since Biden, basically she was like trying to go hard right in most of her like public appearances. She went after the public schools in Marion, Linn-Mar School District, over like gender inclusiveness. Like basically they basically had a policy where like a student could like declare whatever pronouns in school and they wouldn't like bother their parents about it. And this is of course a violation of parental rights.
Right, of course. I forgot about that.
And she like brought Mike Pence here to do like an event sort of like denouncing the Linn-Mar School District over that. It was like made a huge deal about it.
Mike Pence, and, like that helps me place her a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. And now that she's running for another level up, she's like, I work with both sides to get the job done. I'm a serious legislator.
It's so funny there are Republicans still doing that. Like, I've kind of would figure they'd just be Democrats by now if they're trying to do that shit.
Yeah. And it's very phony because, like, you can just, like, look at every time her name has come up in the news for the past, like, 5 years, she's been, like, going further and further right. So it's clearly bullshit.
Yeah. It feels like being, like, one of the, like, only normal conservatives, like, in a Nazi party at this point. It's like, what are you doing? Okay, and then Jim Carlin's doing the more classic Trumpy thing.
He's just sort of a long shot guy. I had a long conversation with my friend Dexter Merschbrock about
I listened to a little bit of this.
Because Dexter's been like way more plugged in than me for the past few months. And yeah, Jim Carlin's been doing sort of like the banks, the big business owns everything and that's bad. Kind of that kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah. And I mean, that's not it. It's like one of those things where it sounds like maybe some, populist progressive rhetoric or whatever, but there's some triple parentheses around it, one of those kind of things.
I'm sure that you could find quotes from Jim Carlin that would fit the mold there. But it's also like super anti-abortion, anti-immigrant kind of rhetoric along with that populism. I guess that is sort of a populist thing on the right.
Yeah. It's the anti-Semitism is the socialism of fools thing. The old phrase, right? You go that direction. Yeah. Well, okay, we can hop over to the House, and obviously the gimmick of this episode is I'll ask you about District 3 here, but we can also talk about your district and stuff as well. But starting off, so like, should I vote for Zach Nunn or not? What?
Yeah, I think he's been a great representative for your city, your district. And he's a good, he's like Tom Cruise, basically.
So yeah, Zach Nunn is the Republican currently the representative from District 3, Iowa District 3. I mostly know him for like his really punchable face. That's kind of the main thing to know about him. He brought Trump in to give a speech that I protested outside of. So that happened.
A few months back. I think he also brought JD Vance to town like last week, right?
Oh shit! I didn't. Did he? I should have been protesting outside that too.
I think that was Zach's doing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Zach's bringing in the Trump people. Like, yeah, I think I made it out to that Trump one specific because that was like right after one of the Minneapolis shootings. And so it was like,
I remember that.
Everyone was mad. There was a mad energy there. It was actually kind of a delight, though, because it was a very Iowa protest in that the Casey's that was set up right in front of the venue that Trump was at decided to stay open, which was very smart for them on a business level because it was so fucking cold that everybody went in and got something at one point or another. It was just a very Iowa protest. Everyone had a slice of Casey's pizza. It was.
Don't look up who the owners of Casey's have donated to.
I know. I have the fondness toward their, as any good Iowan, but I don't want to know anything about.
Yeah. Zach Nunn also was going to do campaign events with Pete Hegseth a couple months ago, and then the Iran war broke out right after he announced those events, and then Pete Hegseth kind of backed out. I don't know what message that sends. Cowardice, I think.
Thank God we've got our own Ted Cruz here. It's so we got the spineless coward running here, but we got two Democrats coming up against it. Well, one Democrat, one didn't get enough.
1.5 maybe.
Yeah, 1.5. So the one that's probably going to be the candidate is Sarah Trone Garriott.
And when you say probably, it's like in excess of 99%.
Yeah, by probably. I mean definitely. Unless you change this, the few Iowans that actually listen to this, you got to change this.
Yeah, he needs your help because he's not on the ballot. So you have to spell it correctly if you want Xavier Kerrigan to be the Democratic nominee. You got to put in a little extra work.
No, but before we get to Xavier here, we got Sarah Trone Garriott's the one that's probably going to win here. What do you know about her? I know a little bit, but not a ton.
Yeah, I think that she's been sort of a rising star, of which there are very few in the Iowa Democratic Party over the past few years. She's got a history. I mean, she's a Christian like you, so she's got that going for her.
Yeah, that's the only thing I know about her. Yeah.
As a hospital chaplain, I shared in moments of joy and relief and supported families through heartache and loss. I'm Sarah Trone Garriott.
I think that's the only thing a lot of people know about her is that she's sort of
what I think ELCA,
Christian.
but Lutheran, progressive Lutheran.
Right. So, yep, that's correct. And so the opposition messaging about her campaign this cycle really has been she's a fake Christian. She's too accepting of the Satanists and shit. So she's not a real Christian like us.
Yeah.
I mean, she seems fine. I haven't been paying close attention to how she votes on bills and such, but also the Republicans have had either a supermajority or close to a supermajority for I think the whole time she's been in office. So what she's voted on, what she's introduced in bills has been pretty irrelevant to state politics, unfortunately.
Well, one thing I forgot to check beforehand. Let's find out right now live. How immigration? Let's see.
Yeah. Ensure ICE is following the law.
Yeah. Okay. One of those. But we also need a system that enforces the law and secures our borders. There we go.
Right.
All of them do this. It's getting annoying.
You're going to be hard pressed to find a Democrat who, acknowledges the truth that borders are a false construct. It's going to be hard to find one of those.
Yeah, they only exist because people with guns hang out on them. If you didn't have that, they'd be fine. Most of human history, we didn't have them.
Yeah. But if you think too hard about that, then the whole sort of concept of nations and capitalism and all this shit starts falling apart. So that's why the secure, strong border is sort of a load-bearing pillar of this whole system.
That's a good point. Yeah, actually, because it does it does challenge just the concept of the nation state on a certain level.
Yeah. I mean, people want to leave their home countries and come here for particular reasons, and a lot of that is because we, through force and through less directly harmful means, we dominate the economy of the planet, and so getting closer to the center of this empire is personally beneficial rather than continuing to live in a place that we subjugate, right?
And look, if we have been ruling the world for like a century now via soft and hard power. Both. Right. And, immiserating most of the world population, I think the least that we owe those people is to like let them find a better life here, just personally.
If you make it through the obstacle course and you end up here, we won't turn you around and force you to go back the other way.
I think that's like the bare minimum we owe the world. But whatever. But
again, like if you get into this conversation, like you can't remain like a patriotic supporter of the American project anymore. So nobody in the main political parties is really going to dive into that in a campaign.
But I think because of being an Episcopalian, Sarah Trungary, it's the one I'm like supposed to like almost, like because a lot of people I know are into her, but I just kind of find her to be a disappointing.
She seems like a nice person,
I'm sure. I would like her to be a little stronger. So if you want someone that's got a little more left wing. I don't know.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know a ton about this guy, but
Xavier. Okay, this is the only reason I perked up at Xavier, and again, he might have some issues that we're unaware of, but is that like I saw his headshot and immediately was like, oh, I've seen him at protests a handful of times. He's like spoke at some protests, and so that's like already a decentish sign at least. But then when I actually took a look at his issues, I was seeing stuff that made me really happy, where it was like it was a little more specific than the stuff Garrett is saying here.
Eliminate student loan debt,
And actually, I love this line on his issue pages. The American public bailed out Wall Street in 2009. It's time they help the American people out of this crisis. That's a good jab,
sure.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Worker co-ops, wanting to, all of them have been supporting like the proactive stuff. I've seen that from most Democrats. So there is like hopefully some change going to be coming if some of these Democrats win on a labor issue, labor issues at least, hopefully a little bit.
Yeah.
I like this $20 minimum wage and specifically attach the minimum wage to the inflation of the US dollar. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. That's correct.
Yeah. It was way, way, way overdue. So at least, at least we got some people bringing it up. I believe the federal minimum wage has not been raised in 20 years.
Something like that. Because it's still $7.25, despite most places not offering that anymore, at least.
That's like literally impossible to get anyone to work for that wage anymore.
Can't imagine. But I think a lot of people don't really realize how much inflation has happened in even like the last 5 years. Because I was, before I rage quit this job, I was bartending recently. And I was getting really kind of annoyed at how many, because it was bartending in a movie theater specifically, and people were like complaining about the prices all the time, which, I get it. Movie theaters have always been overpriced. And so that kind of drove me nuts because I'm like, well, this was true when I was a kid. You should all know.
Never
it's
been
always
to a movie
been expensive. And then of course, if you're getting a cocktail at the movie theater, it's going to be absurdly expensive, of course.
It's the convenience of it all.
But when they were complaining about food and stuff, I started to realize that even in my head, my idea of how much like a burger cost is still what it cost in 2016. I started loading up the CPI like inflation calculator more often. And it's literally like, if your idea of what something should cost on a food, like for food or whatever, plug that into the inflation calculator, look at like 2016 to now, and you'll see, oh, that's why everything's more expensive, is my idea is probably what it was 10 years ago.
Right. Yeah. And if you're like a normal person, like probably the amount of money that you get paid to work is not keeping pace with that.
No.
Like that's just reality for basically everyone. It makes me crazy. That's like the main source of like constant anxiety is that like I don't know how to like keep up. Like I have a union job. One of my jobs is a union.
Hell yeah.
But even that is like I get a guaranteed bump in pay every year, but like that's not tied to the crazy bullshit that our like demented pedophile president is going to do to raise the price of everything. Like,
dude,
it's
I've
so
been
out of
kicking
my
myself
control,
so
you
much
know?
because I rage quit that job, right? And I've started door dashing to make up that money while I look for something else. And then, of course, they block the fucking Strait of Hormuz. Once I have to start paying for gas
Drive
as part of
around
my
all day,
job.
yeah.
Damn it. I just can't win.
Yeah, I also commute to one job. I work at a school, but it's not like in town. So I'm looking into like there's a bus that travels between like pretty close to my house and then like straight to the campus where I work. So like that should be pretty convenient for me. But like I got to figure that shit out this summer because I'm not gonna be buying a tank of gas every week. There's no
really
way to make
bad.
that work.
It's really bad. Not been enjoying it. Okay, so I think my endorsement, my vote is to Xavier Kerrigan, but look, if it's not Zach Nunn, I'm pretty content.
I think that he actually is in danger of losing that seat. I think that this actually is a competitive district, so that would be funny.
How are you feeling about it? Because it feels like the state has just been really red, for the last couple elections. Do you think that's maybe changing this year?
I'm not really going to get my hopes up, but like the last time this state voted for any Democrats, it was when Trump was president. Like 2018, they did flip a few seats, and that was very short-lived.
Okay.
But I think people are pretty sick of Trump shit. Like your median person is like pretty disgusted by a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to like get my hopes up for anything. I mean, seeing Democrats win is like barely getting my hopes up in the first place, but it's definitely an improvement. It would be. I don't know. I think that your district definitely has a strong chance of flipping. The district that Hinson is bailing on to go for Senate, I think that they have a shot. District 2. I keep forgetting who the Republican even is running there. I believe Joe Mitchell. And I don't know that there's any other Republicans running. Charlie McClintock. It was. Yeah,
there we go. District 2. Yeah. Okay.
Charlie McClintock, who is a state senator, I think.
Yeah. Boring guy, I assume. Nothing fun.
I think he's a beard guy. I think if he's the guy I'm thinking of, he's one of the bearded legislators. Yeah.
Oh, man. Is that's becoming a thing now? I think Dexter had mentioned that was the Chris. Oh no, he's not a beard guy. He's an egg
maybe
guy.
If there's a newer picture of him, there might be a beard.
Yeah,
because I think a beard would be a good idea. Seeing that photo.
Is it mid-contact? Let's see. Nah, it looks like that's
okay.
Yeah,
I don't know who I'm thinking of then. Well, we got a Charlie Kirk there in the results
for some reason. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so we got him. So we got a guy that looks like an egg in District 2. Yeah, do you know any of these Democrats?
So Lindsey James is very popular. She's from Dubuque, I believe. She is, again, I think a state senator currently. Clint Tweetball is a Methodist nonprofit guy who's been in Cedar Rapids for a long time. I remember meeting him when I was like a teenager. Seems like a decent guy. Catherine Dolter, I'm not very familiar with, although Dexter let me know that she does have a billboard up in Cedar Rapids.
Well, there you go.
She's probably going to turn things around. I think that Lindsey James is like by far the favorite to win that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then you were in what you said 1, right? You're in District 1.
I'm in District 1. Yeah.
Okay. So who are we dealing with here? It's looks like Christina Bohannon.
Yes. So Marionette Miller Meeks is currently representing me in Congress. She's famous as the only gnome in Congress. She's about 3'6", and that's an exaggeration, but she is quite short. And
all right.
That's one of my favorite things about the Iowa delegation to Congress is that we have Marionette Miller Meeks in my district, and then the 4th district we have Randy Feenstra, who is the guy who replaced Steve King when Steve King got a little bit too epic with the New York Times.
He did that a lot, right?
Yes, but for some reason, this one time crossed the line for everyone.
Yeah, it's crazy. He was always saying racist shit. That was like his whole thing. He's like the racist guy.
He was famous for it. But
he was Iowa's David Duke. Like that was his thing.
Yeah. But anyway, the real important point I was making is that Randy Feenstra is very tall and Marionette Miller Meeks is very short, and it's funny to see them together. So she, I think she also like kind of is in between the sort of like playing to the hard right, but also playing to a sort of like bipartisanship. And it flips depending on which part of the electoral cycle we're in. This is an interesting district because you've got Iowa City as like the hub.
Yeah,
district.
probably the most progressive area of Iowa, right? Like
Totally.
Des Moines and Iowa City are like kind of, tied, but then Iowa City I think goes a little farther.
Iowa City definitely has loonier leftists. We got an anarchist contingent over here. Basically, we have this school that attracts, overeducated people who have read Marx. Basically, we've got like Iowa City has like a couple of like police and prison abolitionists on that have been elected. So there's like a real somewhat like an influential left wing here.
That makes sense.
You've also got Davenport, which is like got a real working class river town history.
Yeah.
So this is like one of the districts that was a Democratic stronghold for a long time, is now represented by a Republican who won by, I think, 6 votes in 2020. So like real precarious Republican majority that has held for a few cycles, but definitely in peril. I think they could flip it, but I'm not holding my breath on that because Christina Bohannon, who is by far, she's being set up to win the nomination for a 3rd time and has already lost to this incumbent 2 times.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. We got our own Hillary.
I mean, I've met her a couple times. She's okay, but is definitely like a not taking any risks kind of Democratic candidate.
Yeah.
Law professor. The thing that really bothered me is I think this was during her first campaign. She cut an ad with the county sheriff.
I'm proud to have worked in law enforcement for over 20 years. It's about making sure that everybody in their community feels safe when they go to work and when they go to school. It's always about doing what's right. That's why I can't stand the false attacks against Christina Bohannon. They're flat out lies. We can trust Christina to make sure Iowa's police have the funding we need. Anyone who says different is just plain wrong. Christina will work with anyone to tackle violent crime head on. Christina Bohannon's got our back.
I'm Christina Bohannon, and I approve this message.
Just, trying to shore up her back the blue bona fides or whatever.
Awesome.
And, I can't back that up. I'm too principled.
Of course. Yeah. When was that though?
2020. I am pretty sure she cut that out.
I was wondering if it was a reaction to the protest, because the protest freaked out a lot of Iowans, I guess.
And there were like attack ads against her that were like she donated to a bail fund, like she wants to kill all cops.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
And it's like, no, she just has like somewhat of a conscience and has some money to burn. Like she's not really trying to defund the police. She just like probably like some of her students guilted her into it or something, and so she meets up with Brad Kunkel, the county sheriff, to make this ad to like make sure everybody on YouTube knows that I do love the police. Otherwise, I might lose this election.
Oh no!
And then did anyway, of course.
Yeah, that's Democrats in a nutshell, right there. Yeah.
Yeah, she's totally Democrat.
Do you know Travis? Oh no, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he's a bit of like a challenger from her left. Like Travis is a really cool guy. Been trying to get him on my show, but we just haven't been able to work it out yet. He's like genuinely like working class dude, like paycheck to paycheck. He's lived that way. He knows what life is actually like, and not a coward when it comes to like Israel-Palestine issues,
which is really rare here, honestly.
Yeah. Travis is a really cool guy. I would not expect him to get enough votes in this primary to get the nomination, but if you do live in this district, I would encourage you to vote for Travis, because Christina has already had a few shots at this. I think we should try something a bit more aggressive. I think would be that would be my strategy.
I think now's the time. Yeah, like I really think Democrats have an opportunity to be aggressive right now, and it's frustrating that Iowa Democrats don't feel like they're doing that.
I think they don't want to. I think that they don't.
It's
they don't believe in
you think?
anything more radical. Yeah, I even when it would, I think, benefit them strategically in an election, I think that they don't want to be on the hook for something like that.
Yeah, I mean, and this is, I guess, a problem with the broader party since, since probably the 90s. But, you know, like, it was something I was thinking about a lot during the 2024 election, too, was like, you know, Kamala could have said even the littlest thing about Israel, and it would have helped her, but she wouldn't fucking do it.
No. And there's like, I forget where this came from, but I think it was like a phone call between her and Biden where he was like, no daylight. He instructed her to like not distance herself from the Biden, you know, administration.
That was the only way to win. That was the only way to win.
Yeah, he just was a fucking egotistical monster, even as his brain was like melting, you know. Yeah. I am glad that, you know, probably the biggest benefit to the disaster of the Biden term was like people finally realizing like, oh, this guy's kind of a piece of shit, huh? Yeah. It was funny in that like final year seeing all of the liberals who'd loved him so hard starting to be like, wait a second. Like after the debate, I think was when it was finally everyone was like, okay, all right, maybe you guys were on his own. I remember the Iowa City Jazz Fest was like the weekend after that debate where he like total national meltdown. And like some older kind of like well-meaning liberals, of course, were at the Iowa City Jazz Fest. And I remember just overhearing like terrified conversations where they're like, because at that point it was like after that debate, but he had not backed down yet. It was like, oh, he's still running, of course.
I'm staying in the race.
Like, why would we give up the greatest candidate ever? And it was so crazy to hear these people convincing themselves that, like, yeah, this could still work. I mean, what else are we going to do?
What else are we going to do?
Just the absolute terror behind those statements, you know?
Oh, my God, guys. I'm not going to ever, like, I feel like ever get over 2024. It was the most frustrating election I think I've lived through, and I've lived through, and I lived through 2016 so far. That's a good point.
They can only get worse, right? It's not going to get better.
It's not going to get better.
But Marianne Miller she also has like a challenge from her right.
Oh, that's
David
right.
Pouch, who I think is a Quad Cities guy, although so is Marionette. I might be misremembering that, but I've seen yard signs for him from like the sort of scarier houses in my neighborhood in past cycles. So I think that his whole thing is like, yeah, she's a rhino. Vote for me. I'm who you really want. I'll really end all the abortions. That kind of guy. Yeah.
Okay. And then I guess we could do this one in passing here, but District 4 here, which is that one. Okay.
Yeah. That's the most conservative part of Iowa.
Yeah, Western.
The former Steve King district.
It's Western Iowa. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Ryan Melton didn't make the ballot. Bummer.
I think he might be leaving the state. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, for like probably a lot of very valid reasons, he didn't want to take another shot at it.
That's fair. I mean, I don't know him super well. He's just a very nice guy on my Twitter. Is like how I think of him.
Totally. But, yeah, Ryan's a nice guy. I am shocked that they only have one Republican in that primary.
Yeah. So Feenstra's currently the incumbent, but he's going to leave because we'll get back to he's running for governor. So it's just Chris McGowan, it looks like here.
And I'm totally out of the loop on this guy. I don't know what's up with Chris McGowan.
Well, I've decided he's related to Shane McGowan of the Pogues. I've decided. That's,
okay. Yeah. Who I think is also like a cousin to Rose McGowan or something.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. District 4 is a lost cause anyway. All right. We'll go
it's crazy that like there's three people trying to get the Democratic nomination to then end up with like 30% of the general vote.
Yeah, scary
Not
part
to shit
of
on any of those people, you know. I mean, Godspeed to you, but that's definitely thinking long term because that's not going to change in 2026.
But now we go to the keynote, you know, the highlight, I think.
This is where the action is. Yeah.
This is what everyone's excited about. I am interested to see how this plays out, despite not being too excited for, you know, our candidate here. But it's the governor race. It's the gubernatorial race. Let's put a pin in Rob Sand, because once we open that door, that's going to be, a half hour.
I'm skipping dinner.
Yeah, we're going all day. No, so Kim Reynolds is our current governor. She is not running again because of being the most unpopular governor in the country. I think is the reason.
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine, but yeah, she's consistently coming at the bottom. I don't know how they poll that, but in terms of gubernatorial approval ratings, she's at the bottom of the list, which I think was true last time as well. I think 2022 was the last time she ran for re-election, and yet the state Democratic Party put no resources behind Deidre DeGear, who ran against her, and so they just punted on that one.
Yeah, you would see her signs a little bit, and that was it. I don't think I even saw any ads during the time. It was very, very, very few, at least.
Yeah, I remember an ad with the guy she had chosen for lieutenant governor, but this is a long time ago now. That was an incredibly frustrating year. It was a midterm with a Democratic president. Biden sucked, so I'm sure they didn't have high hopes, but you're not going to try at all. This is immediately after a really poorly managed pandemic. I would think that you could try something, but we lost that battle for sure.
Everyone fucking hating Kim Reynolds, part of that came out of 2020. For those not in the state, I mean, she really blundered handling COVID. There was a bit on my old podcast, Mammonberg, at one point where I would load up the COVID, whatever. And if you didn't have the state borders on and just COVID rates or whatever, you could see the shape of Iowa.
Yeah. The mistake being that we were recording that data at all.
Yeah, I guess that was. So yeah, bungled that, and so she's got all these fun nicknames from that era of like Kim Reaper or COVID Kim. She got all those fun nicknames during that time. She also hit a protester with her car.
Oh yeah, Jalen got hit by a car.
Yeah. The only plus side to that is that event introduced me to Jalen, and he's a lovely guy. So that was cool. Yeah. Well, and I should say it wasn't technically her who hit him. It was her driver. Yeah.
Yeah.
She probably instructed to do that too. But anyway, so the Republicans, we got Republicans here for governor here. So we got Randy. I guess we could start off with Randy Feenstra since we already brought him up.
Actually, before we stop talking about Kim Reynolds, I do want to say, we as reasonable people think that the Iowa response to the COVID pandemic was poor because, a lot of people got sick and died. I think that that's a reasonable metric to judge that failure by. But she doesn't even have really the backing of her own party with the way that she handled COVID. In this past legislative session, they are still mad at her for the 2 weeks of 2020 where the state instructed churches to don't have a large gathering indoors. Yeah. There's still contingent of that party that is still mad about that.
It drives me crazy.
Bill to make sure that a future governor couldn't do that again.
I think I get really annoyed at that being such a talking point, partially because one of my AV jobs I do is I run a live stream for a church, which sprung up in 2020. It's I knew that's an option. Most churches did that. And sure, it's not as nice as going to the building, but I don't know, when there's a global pandemic, perhaps we have to make some sacrifices. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, from my understanding, it's the more time you spend outside of the actual building, which God owns the church. There's God owns the property that the church sits on, right? So the longer you are away from that particular parcel of land, the more the sin builds up inside your body, right?
I forgot about that. Yeah. That's a central piece of Christian doctrine, of course, is
So keeping me away from that is possibly putting my eternal soul in peril, because the sin threshold could rise a little too high to be forgiven, right?
It's so annoying because there were previous pandemics, like in history, when churches had to shut down. Like, there's a little slide we'd put up, like, if instead of taking communion, that's like a prayer you can say since you can't take communion. That prayer originated like years ago. It was like it wasn't a thing that just they wrote. It was like a thing that they were able to pull from history because this has happened before. You know, Christianity was around when like the Black Death happened.
Totally. And it was like a pretty important part of European culture, I think.
Yeah, I've heard. Anyway, very annoying. But no, I think a lot of the like right-wing Christian culture war stuff was primed to interpret that way as like a totalitarian thing because of the whole like, I don't know, like paleocon New World Order kind of ideas that have floated around in evangelical spaces for a long time. So they were a little primed for like looking out for when something that looks like a world government is coming to limit religion. They were like primed. They were looking for that.
I mean, I can't totally argue with that. Like the state mandating that a church not allow their congregation in during a pandemic. I mean, that is the government subverting God's authority, right?
Sure. Yeah, I think God understands personally on account of the fucking pandemic.
Yeah.
But
I mean, did you talk to him about it?
I guess I did. I guess I didn't hit him up. Yo, you good with this?
Yeah, okay, can you give us a couple weeks off?
So we got Randy Feenstra though. He's the main. He's probably gonna win, right? Maybe.
I think that's how it's gonna go. He was sort of set up to succeed Kim Reynolds. I mentioned this on another podcast, but he claims that Kim Reynolds called him and basically said, "It's your turn." This is in
That's awesome.
I don't know if this was like a hot mic thing or if he actually meant to say this in an interview, but it was reported somewhere. You can find it. And his campaign is like possibly the emptiest of all of these candidates that we've discussed so far. He is campaigning on his height, which I mentioned earlier.
Really?
His slogan is New Heights. He's going to take Iowa to new heights, and he just keeps repeating it. You can find his campaign ads, and it is like multiple puns about how tall he is and his size.
In Iowa, the crops grow tall and strong. Randy Feenstra is no different. Born and raised here in rural Iowa, and instilled with working-class values. Feenstra has always stood tall to fight for his home.
He is just coasting on that he's like... He's a sitting congressman. He has a lot of institutional backing with the state party. He's got the momentum, I guess. I think that there's it's kind of fake. Like, I don't think anyone really likes him. He was just like the guy they plugged in to replace Steve King.
He's like Joe Biden was, for Democrats, right? Is just like the name recognition,
more or
the
less
establishment pick.
He's like what polling has been done is like he can't be touched. It's possible that like it'll have to go to a convention and then they'll like make a decision among the diehards of the party, but it's looking like he's probably going to be their nominee, and he's totally a dud. Like if he gets the nomination, if any of these guys, this is where the action is. Like, it's pretty hard to tell what's going to happen in November with the
this is the
race.
Actually competitive race, I think, like the most anyway. Like, so we've got Feenstra, who represents, kind of the establishment pick, the whatever. And then you've got your other, rung of psychopaths here. So we've got,
it's like 4 slightly different flavors of like,
So Adam Steen, that's one of the ones I've seen his signs up. The only Feenstra sign I've seen is like a really massive one on like a large property owner nearby, which that's kind of the vibe. Steen is the one like scary houses seem to have on.
So I'm sure you're familiar with the family leader and Bob Vanderplatz.
I believe I've seen him speak before as a young evangelical.
I bet you did. So my sort of like real political awakening as like paying attention to state politics in particular was like when our state legalized gay marriage, there was a huge right-wing backlash to that. And there was a campaign to oust the Iowa Supreme Court justices who like made that happen. And Steve King was a big ringleader for that. And Bob Vander Plaats was like really a driving force behind that. And that has basically, I think, informed the trajectory of the state since then. They dumped a whole bunch of money and attention and time into like whipping people up into a frenzy against these activist judges who pushed for this desecration of a sacred union, right?
Yeah. And that was 2014, right? Was when
before that,
the Burgefell. Oh, right, but Iowa legalized earlier than that.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah,
you're thinking of the real Supreme Court. But yeah, Iowa legalized gay marriage, I think, in 2010.
That's right.
Is when that happened. And Adam Steen is like the candidate of that guy, Bob Vander Plaats.
Yeah.
He's been endorsed by the guy himself and by the family leader, which is his like evangelical capitalist organization. So Adam Steen is the like most credible Christian nationalist in the primary.
I'm a Christian conservative. I'll defend life. I'll protect your kids against radical woke ideology. I'll keep the Satanists out of the Capitol.
Yeah. No, he's the most like of the world that we've talked about on Fruitless a lot, because we'll do like focus on like evangelical media in the summer sometimes. Yeah. And so I am really interested in the weird evangelical money world. And so Bob Vander Plaats is that for Iowa. He represents that, and then he's behind Adam Steen. So he's our evangelical candidate. He's also, wasn't he a baseball player, right?
He has some baseball past. I don't know much about that part, but he was like although you have his baseball record here.
Yeah, he was a minor league. For the Phillies.
Yeah, when was that? Early 2000s?
2000s, yeah, 2002 cool. or so. But he didn't do very well, and then he got into business instead or something, right?
Yeah, again, you should talk to my pal Dexter, who's like listened to every Adam Steen interview and like knows a lot about him.
Oh man, I might hit him up.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be down. He's a good talker.
He's a mutual on some social media, I think.
He's a good guy. Adam Steen is a bad guy, however. Yeah. And he was like some sort of like bureaucratic administrative position with the state government, and really made a name for himself by denying Satanists a display in the state capitol during the holiday season a couple winters ago. And blatantly violating the First Amendment rights of a religious group, and being extremely proud of it because he was like defending the honor of Christianity and God and all that.
I'll keep the Satanists out of the Capitol.
Yeah, I saw that on his page, that his like main thing is he's like, I'm the anti-Satanist.
Yeah. You can't trust any of these other guys to keep Satan out of the governor's mansion. When Satan comes knocking, he's the only one who like answers the door with his shotgun, He's ready to do battle. He also they've had a few primary debates, which Randy Feenstra refuses to show up for, which is a good sign. And Steen, in one of these debates, he said that water quality is a huge animating issue in this state. Farm runoff goes straight into all of the water in Iowa. All of the we have like water.
One of the fastest growing cancer rates in the country, likely because of that.
Yeah, and there's like a huge industry behind denying that connection between the fertilizer going straight into our drinking water that we then ingest.
Yeah, I'll get like Instagram ads that are like, there's this myth that ag runoff is what's giving us all cancer.
Yeah, right. There's way too much money on the line here, all right? Do not let people think that the agriculture industry is poisoning them and killing all their grandparents. But Steen, at this primary debate, he claimed that it was medical abortions, like taking abortion pills and then, whatever gets flushed down the toilet is somehow that's what's causing the water crisis in Iowa.
Poisoning the water, yeah.
So insane.
All the abortions here, yeah.
Dude, come on. And yeah, I think of all these guys who all are anti-abortion, of course, he's the one who hammers on that the most, I think.
That's like his thing.
Yeah, a recent interview he did, again, credit to Dexter for showing me this clip. He said, we need to change the culture around here. It's not enough that we have a 6-week abortion ban in Iowa, that it's essentially impossible. We've scared all the doctors out of the state. That's not enough. We need to change the culture here so that when a young at-risk person, somebody who likely would consider an abortion, we need to change the culture so that they understand that I believe this is a direct quote, there is no other option than to have that kid and raise it.
Jesus, man. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Oy.
Absolutely just super extreme rhetoric, to say the least.
So another cool guy. Okay, and we could go to Zach Lawn here. So, we got the evangelical, we got the establishment guy, and then now we've got the racist.
Yeah.
The white nationalist.
Zach Lawn is sort of appealing to the trad homestead kind of Republican, right?
Yeah, very blood and soil kind of guy.
Totally. Almost literally says that in his ads.
The soil beneath our feet isn't a commodity for hedge funds, China, or out-of-state investors to buy and sell. It's our inheritance as sons and daughters of Iowa.
The land of Iowa is our heritage, and we are owed this land. Iowa for Iowans. He does not, of course, mean the native tribe that lived here before the white settlers. He means the people who've been here a couple hundred years. Those people are the real Iowans who deserve all the land.
Right, yeah.
Want to end illegal immigration in Iowa? Here's how we do it. End all incentives. Make it impossible for illegals to get jobs here. It's pretty simple. Iowa jobs are for Iowans. Iowa benefits are for Iowans. And our universities are for Iowans. Iowa first.
He's friends with Tucker Carlson.
Okay.
He used to be a fundraiser for Koch Industries or whatever sort of PAC shit they were doing.
Yeah.
And he started a charter school in Kansas with the wife of a Koch. So not like Charles Koch, is the next generation down, I think. One of those guys' sons was married to this woman who started a charter school with Zach Lawn, okay? And then somewhere down the line, this Koch wife marries Zach Lawn instead. So he worked for the Koch family and then stole one of their wives.
He cucked the Kochs?
Cucked a Koch, yeah, dude.
Cucked a Koch.
I can't believe I haven't said that yet.
That's amazing. Wait. One thing I'm curious now.
Yeah.
I'm searching Zach Lawn Israel because I'm curious about this. It doesn't seem like
I wonder what he said.
Because you're saying because you mentioned obviously his Tucker Carlson connection. I was kind of curious if he was in the right wing, in the right wing, anti-Israel, but for bad reasons.
right. I don't know that he's spoken explicitly about that or not.
Interesting. Probably just avoiding it if he's. Yeah,
I think he is. Yeah, I think that he's a smart guy. He's maybe the scariest of them. I think Adam Steen is pretty frightening, but Zach Lawn he's a real focused sort of sociopathic kind of guy. Real slimy. They're all slimy, but
yeah. Well, he doesn't have any issues though. On his campaign website, which I think is interesting. Which feels like he's hiding shit. Oh wait, maybe there.
I will make Iowa healthy again. Yes, he has the backing of the RFK crowd as well. Yeah.
And he's emphasizing the whole foreign government ownership of Iowan land. Okay.
Yeah, the Chinese government's buying all the farmland.
That's a way to seem populist but be racist.
See the word birthright there under that one?
Ooh. Yeah, that's not great. Our birthright to own the ground under our feet. Yeah, and not the global elites. We had some parentheses here.
There's definitely some of these.
Yeah, serving the people of Iowa, not the parentheses global elites. Yeah. Cool.
Something fun about him though is that he brought Rob Schneider to the state to campaign with him.
Thank God, you know,
one of the funniest men in America.
That's
Rob
what
Schneider.
I'm always saying. Yeah.
Again, if you're like my age or older, you might remember Rob Schneider as the "You Can Do It" guy from Adam Sandler movies.
and now he's telling you who to vote for. So
yeah. He has like I think it's like a vodka brand or something called Liberal Tears. I've been hearing about this on like the Guys podcast.
Oh yeah.
Tangential.
Oh, I think they make fun of him a lot. Yeah. Okay, and then the other Republicans we have here are boring, right? Brad Sherman and Eddie Andrews. Is there anything really to say about them?
Brad's the most boring. I think both of these guys are like somewhat interesting. Eddie Andrews is like, he's sort of a politician in a way that the others are not. What I mean by that is like I forget exactly where his district is, but he's a state legislator right now from like the Des Moines area. So he's not sort of like only relying on like hard right rural voters like some of the other members of the legislature. And he's a black man in Iowa, so there's like some, complicated stuff going on there. Still like, pretty conservative on social and economic issues. Like he is a Republican, certainly, but he's like, friendly and like can have a conversation with like the media, and it's like not as scary as the other ones. There was some controversy a couple months ago because on the filing date, like when they had to have their signatures to get on the ballot, Eddie was struggling. Like he barely had enough, and some guy challenged Eddie's signatures to like get him off the ballot, and the Adam Steen campaign was like denying that they were connected to this guy, but the guy who filed the challenge was like working for his campaign.
Oh my God.
So there was like some kind of dirty, like of course if you don't have the signatures, you like legally are not supposed to be on the ballot. So this is all like part of the process, but it seemed really like, again, slimy of the Adam Steen campaign to do this.
And being the only black candidate does rub me wrong, even if he's a Republican. It's kind of like, why are you targeting him?
Kind of gross,
like
right?
Brad Sherman.
Yeah, because Brad Sherman's not doing much better. Like he's also he's a former legislator, Brad Sherman. He's got like some kind of weird church thing not far from me in Coral. I forget the name of it. But yeah, he's another one that's like, no, I'm the only one who's serious about ending abortion. I'm the true abolitionist. I'm sure you've encountered that, how they like adopt the language of abolition.
Yeah. There's that crazy activist group that like put up signs in Des Moines right? for a bit. Yeah. No, I'm Yeah, they're crazy. They just give very bad vibes.
Oh yeah.
Then Brad Sherman's kind of nobody. So okay, the man of the hour. We got to talk about Rob Sand. Because for those outside of Iowa, kind of have a positive impression of him because they're like, oh, Iowa's really red, and Rob Sand's coming in to fix it.
Right. And I'm sorry to do this, but
Rob Sand cracks down on what kind of crime each day.
So Rob Sand has been the state auditor in Iowa since 2018. That is from his 2018 campaign. He put a parody of Roxanne by the Police on SoundCloud.
I see.
And
that's so good.
At every opportunity, I make sure to show it to whoever.
Yeah, that was a very Rock Hard Caucus is invading this spot. We got the soundboard going. Yeah, he's really funny. I will give, like, in a kind of unintentional way, he's really funny almost. Maybe it's intentional. Maybe I'm being uncharitable.
A little of both, to be honest. I mean, he's a very sort of Parks and Rec era kind of guy. Like he's hearkening back to sort of Obama era politics at times. So like I said, he's the state auditor. He used to work for the state attorney's office back when that was held by Democrats. So those two things are basically how he sells himself, is that like, I go after white collar crime, like he said in the song, or whoever was singing that. And I look for discrepancies in tax dollar spending. And he tries to like be very above the sort of partisanship of politics.
Yeah.
Follows you? Oh my God.
Yeah,
I
was going to. So I was had to bring that up. Rob Sand follows me, so he might listen to this. I don't. He also follows everyone. Is the thing?
Guess what?
Does he follow you?
Unfollowed. He did follow me on Twitter at some point and unfollowed like sometime when my podcast was like picking up some attention in the state.
Because you guys have joked about, is it him that you guys joke about listening, that he listens to the show, or is it other people?
I'm sure we've said something like that before.
Okay,
but he, this was like maybe it was probably 3 or 4 years ago now. He, like a publicist was reaching out to various like media, trying to get him more like interviews on stuff. And they emailed me to get him on our show. And I was like, yeah, let's make it happen. Sure. At that point, we had already been making fun of him like at every opportunity, but like, why not?
Yeah, sure.
Why not taking the opportunity to like talk to this guy who's like he's got a lot of money. He's got a lot of dominance over the state Democratic Party, and is like so resistant to any movement towards the left. He's very against any sort of criticism of the cops. He's very. A lot of his money comes from the family he married into, the Lauridsen's, who are, of course, they are dependent upon the agriculture industry in Iowa. So he doesn't really want to rock the boat there either.
Yeah.
So, if I had an opportunity to like have a real conversation with him and try to push him on the issues, like, of course I have to try.
Test his ability to talk to a left winger, because he doesn't do that much.
Yeah. By choice, I think, because they never responded after I agreed to their ask to have him on the show.
Now, I found him a bit off-putting for a while because of his as his header on Twitter here is not redder or bluer, better and truer. He's always like, I'm not really a Democrat, and it's really annoying when we're in this state where there's like, at least for the last couple years, there's so few Democrats. For him to like not say he doesn't consider himself a Democrat, because it's like, buddy, we don't have many of these.
He's trying to have the best of both worlds, where like he is absolutely the dominant force in Democratic politics in Iowa. He is the face of their party. Yeah. But he also, like, there is some baggage there. So he tries to distance himself whenever he can to say, like, I'm only a Democrat because I liked Bill Clinton when I turned 18. So I just decided to register that way.
Sucks, man.
Literally a story he's told many, many times.
Sucks so much. That's the worst president to make you a Democrat.
Yeah, pretty bad, but like, I
would respect it more if he was like an Obama guy. You know what I mean? If he was like, I got caught up in the 2008 election,
he's a little too old to
I guess
make
that's
that
true,
like plausible, but yeah, he's like and the Democratic Party are like totally subservient to him. Like the people who are most excited to vote for him are these like vote blue wave, like super Democrats. The people who are most invested in like being a Democrat are the most enthusiastic Rob Sand supporters, and it's a totally one-sided relationship, because at every opportunity he's like, I don't care about, I'm not into party politics. I'm not really a liberal or anything. Like, don't try to paint me with that brush. And it's like, these are the people who like you, man. You're like totally denying them.
Yeah, he's I don't know. He's got a weird vibe. He's obviously, this really centrist, whatever. I don't know, but he has like this weird sense of humor with his ads and stuff that you guys have poked fun at for a long time. Of like, he does these like fun ads sometimes. I guess the one that's playing for us right now is not. This is the only one that's been playing for a while now. He's got some more rolling out now.
Stealing is bad ad, right?
Call me old-fashioned. I'd say stealing's bad. That's why I locked up corrupt public officials as a prosecutor. And as state auditor, I uncovered record amounts of misspent tax dollars.
Yeah, which, man, it feels like he's from a different era. Like you kind of said this, the Parks and Rec era, right? He just like doesn't feel like he's running in 2026,
Mm-hmm.
doing this whole like, I'm all about fighting against wasting tax dollars as like his main thing.
Yeah, which I think is, I'm sure that appeals to some people because like stuff really sucks now, and it felt like it didn't suck as bad back then. So maybe hearkening back to that era is a plus for a lot of people.
Yeah,
and I think that's what he wants. I think he's not thinking like, how do we get out of this and like build a better future? It's more like, you know, I was comfortable before. let's pull things back a little bit, which is inherently conservative, of course.
Yeah. I think on the last episode of Fruitless, we predicted that 2010's nostalgia is like right around the corner right now. I think it's totally coming, and I think he might be part of that. Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
this is like the stomp clap music or whatever you call it.
Yeah. Because I don't know. We were talking about in the context of tech, but it also I think fits in politics too. Because with tech, it was like, oh, remember when your computer worked and like social media was like fun?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Remember when you could like you would get notifications on Facebook when like somebody like commented on your stuff? Remember when like stuff was usable and like there was a point to like being a part of any of this instead of it just being like annoying?
Yeah, so like it makes sense that he would kind of represent that. And we'll see if it works. So his big issues right now, this is why he feels like a candidate from another era, because it's that's the one issue, and then the other really big one that I unironically think is what's going to win him the election is he wants to legalize weed.
Yep.
And that's been so overdue in this state.
Nobody under the age of 75 thinks that weed should still be illegal, right? Like, I think when he came out with his plan to legalize weed on 420. Brilliant.
So epic, dude. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, but, you know, because it's Rob saying I'm making fun of it, but like I would have done the same thing, you know?
Yeah, you probably.
And I think it was maybe Kim Reynolds herself, but I remember seeing like when he came out with this plan, which is obviously going to appeal to 90+% of people who encounter it. They're like, he's promoting getting your children high on narcotics. Like that kind of exaggeration, you know? It's like, who the fuck is falling for this anymore?
The state is stuck in like the 90s. What the fuck is going on? We've got a guy who is inspired by Bill Clinton running against someone who's talking about like razor blades in your Halloween candy. You're like, that's...
Yeah. Well, but even so, like we talked about this before we started recording, but even his like legalized weed plan is kind of appealing to that like stupid ass perception of drug.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no gummies though. I don't want to legalize gummies.
Yes, he doesn't want to legalize edibles. His kids might eat them. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like just
you don't think the kids are gonna eat edibles?
No, I don't think I don't. That was what was baffling to me is like I understand the logic of trying to appeal to, because like what he says is, I've talked to lots of Iowans and all the Iowans, you know, the Iowans that are scared. Yeah, what Iowans supposedly who are mostly okay with legalization, but they're worried about children eating it because, you know, they're presented like gummies or whatever. It's like I don't know. Not that I've ever had any gummies, of course, because this isn't a legal state, but
it's not illegal, and it won't be. It won't be no matter who gets elected.
But you know, like the containers have all like they've got like safety, like child shit on them
it's
usually.
Medicine,
like
you know,
it's I don't know It's not, I don't think that's like really at risk of happening. It's not any more at risk of happening as like having a glass of wine out and the kid might sip it thinking it's juice. Like it's more a parenting thing. Maybe okay, this is my libertarian side coming out. That's the parents' responsibility if they're leaving fucking edibles out.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong, you know, like this is maybe not like the most fair direct comparison, but like over the past decade, we have been so relaxing any sort of gun restrictions in Iowa. And like obviously that's a billion times more dangerous than weed gummies for children, you know? And they've more or less legalized open carry in elementary schools. I'm exaggerating only slightly. But even the guy who's like, it's past time we legalize weed. Hey, hold on. we can't let the weed be like a bright color or a child might be attracted to.
Like, I don't know. I feel like you could accomplish the same thing here if you just said, okay, part of the legislation will be that you can't advertise weed to children.
Sure.
Like, you know,
That's
the
a
same
very
way
obvious
vapes
win,
are
right?
or something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, that issue with vaping or the same restrictions around tobacco. Like, it's just that you can't put a cartoon character that's like, I love getting high in your ad.
Joe Camel, but for weed. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that.
The part of his legalized weed plan that I really objected to, that's like, I think genuinely upsetting, is that he would not expunge previous convictions for people who are like rotting in jail right now because they had weed. There's such a bigger conversation to be had here, but like, who are the people who get convicted of drug crimes? Disproportionately black people, right? Who gets convicted of crimes in general, especially in a state like ours?
Yeah.
It is disproportionately black people. And so when you are proposing like a big change in like criminal justice in our state, like, they get disproportionately impacted by the choices that you make with these policies. And to make that a point of your plan is like not doing some kind of amnesty for people who were convicted of a crime that we now recognize as unjust is like, so you're missing such a huge part of this that like, I can't, it's so hard to like support this guy.
I know.
For anyone who's thinking about anything.
Yeah.
And he might win.
There's a pretty good chance. Well, Dexter's pretty convinced he's going to win, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's still a huge like disadvantage for Democrats in this state. Even a Rob Sand type of Democrat who's like, I'm not really a Democrat and my campaign is entirely funded by one wealthy benefactor, more or less. Even he has to fight an uphill battle against like the voter registration numbers, which heavily favor Republicans. But even despite that, the weak field of Republican candidates for this office, the obvious just press button to win of legalized weed, like Rob Sand has a good shot.
Yeah, and that was smart. Like I even saw he finally rolled out his weed ad like the last day or two, and I know the stoner character in that. I worked with that person.
That's cool.
For a few years.
Iowa's budget is $1.3 billion short. You're wondering what the guys in charge are smoking? I don't know, but Jason here is smoking weed. Here's a sober thought. Let's legalize and tax pot like booze to fill our budget shortfall and leave Jason alone.
Which I was kind of like, I get why you'd do that ad, because it's like, that's the one thing I kind of support Rob Sand on. If he was like, do you want to be in a legalization ad? I'd be like, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a good cause, no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Making weed legalization like a normal thing that we talk about in Iowa politics, finally.
Yeah, because it's been something they've just been really scared of touching for a long time, it seems.
Yeah, I vaguely recall, like, I think Jeff Shipley, who's a Republican legislator, is like, he's a legalized drugs guy. I remember it being floated like a few years ago, like a Republican might be introducing a legalized weed bill, but I think it just never went anywhere.
Well, I'm trying to think if there's anything funny to say about Rob Sand. Obviously, I mean, you listen to Rock Hard Caucus if you want.
There's so
just
much.
A weekly mocking of Rob Sand. But
yeah, we tried not to do it too much. Yeah, Josiah's a much nicer guy than us.
That's right. Yeah.
We try not to make it the Rob Sand show, but he's such a dominant figure in state politics, especially now, that like it's hard not to talk about him. I will give you a little teaser. We're releasing our 250th episode next week, and we're celebrating this milestone occasion by, my plan is to just read articles that Rob Sand wrote in his college newspaper for the full episode.
Oh, what was the funny? There was something my girlfriend showed me related to Rob Sand that was that made me laugh. Was this clip from it's on TikTok right now, but it was some news thing.
Is it him on the bike?
Yes, him on the
Is
bike.
that going around right now?
Okay, yeah, that's going. Is that old?
I don't remember how old that is exactly, but Yeah, they were doing like a live TV news spot, and he was out riding his bike at the same time, and he just happened to ride into the spot, and he just like takes over, and he's like, "Hey, I'm the state auditor, and I just audited this bridge. It's really wet," I think is what he said.
Yeah, because they were talking about the flooding in Des Moines, I think.
You know, he's got some media instincts, I guess.
Well, what's really funny about the video is that the newscaster does not recognize him and isn't listening to him, so she's just kind of like, okay, according to that guy, it's wet, and then tries to carry on, and then whoever's back in the studio appears and goes like, that guy was Rob Sand, the state auditor.
And, I mean, you can't really blame somebody for not recognizing their state auditor. I think
guess that's true. Yeah.
In most states and most times, that would not be like expected of you to recognize that guy. But yeah, he just happens to be like the top of the pyramid in our case.
Well, Rob Sand, come on the show. I'll make you a communist. That's the game. That's the plan.
Well, now he's not coming off.
Now he's not coming on. Damn it. Well, okay, so we're not really too excited about any of these people.
Oh yeah, your question was who to vote for, right?
Yeah, who am I voting for? Are there anybody? So at least in my ballot, I don't think there's many exciting people. Are there people
like for down
running
ballot stuff?
Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything that sticks out to me.
Oh, Chris Jones.
Chris Jones.
He doesn't have a primary opponent, but he's the Democratic candidate for Secretary of Agriculture. And this is a guy who is very critical of the agriculture industry in Iowa, which is poisoning us all, and poisoning the land and abusing animals and abusing human beings. And so, it's like they are going to pull out a lot of. They're going to pull out all the stops, as they say, to keep Mike Naig, the incumbent Republican Secretary of Agriculture, in power. But there is like a rising, surge of people interested in like changing the way that we use the land in Iowa. And Chris Jones is like a figurehead of that. And he used to work for the University of Iowa as like a water, I forget his exact title. He wasn't a professor, notably, but he was like, he worked on water issues, basically. He's the water man. And he basically got forced into early retirement because his blog criticizing agricultural policy in Iowa got too popular. And like state legislators hated him and were like threatening to cut fundings from like university projects because they hated this guy so much. And yeah, so he's running for Secretary of Agriculture as like a, reformer type of candidate. Like he knows what he's talking about. And he's not in the pocket of like the industry that is destroying our environment. So he's like, some good could come of him being elected.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. So he's somebody you're excited about. What I was going to kind of ask is, moving away from my ballot, who are some people in Iowa right now you're excited about that you think might actually bring some good about?
Yeah. So Chris Jones is like, he's a reason to vote. Basically, that's like what I'm animated by right now. In my area, we've got a pretty hotly contested county supervisor's race. Something fun that the state did last year was they passed a bill forcing only the counties that house a Regents University. So this is a way of sidestepping like the blue counties, basically. They forced them to cut the county representatives into districts rather than being an at-large election, which has forced all of the incumbents to run for re-election at the same time. So just like throwing these like Democrat strongholds into chaos, basically. And the issue that I'm like paying close attention to in my county right now is the sheriff wants a new jail, and he wants it to be really big and shiny. And I am like an obstinate sort of opponent to prison in general and incarceration, and I think it's like we have a duty to like try to be a problem when the sheriff's trying to build a new jail, and so there's sort of a spectrum of like the supervisor candidates and incumbents on like how they're supporting this plan to build a jail. And I'm not like super excited about anyone's position on this, but like Mandy Remington and V. Fixmer Arise in the Johnson County Board of Supervisors race have been asking the most questions. They're like the least sort of rubber stampy.
They're at least like showing
plan.
some skepticism. Yeah. Okay.
They're the ones offering any pushback. So I'm pretty invested in them staying on the board. I've interviewed a couple of state house candidates from like pretty red areas. Layla Staten is running, I think, in House District 54, I think is hers. She's pretty cool, really young. It's Leila.
And then Staten,
and then it's
is that right?
Staten with an O instead of an E.
Oh, okay, Staten.
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah.
And you know, I had like a hour plus interview with her a couple weeks ago, and she's like, you know, she's cool. I like her, and she's running against a state trooper. That's the incumbent in her race.
Oh, okay.
And everyone hates those guys.
Yeah, fuck those guys. All right. Well, I think that's all I got for you. I think here. I think this is a good tour of what's going on in Iowa. I think I know who to vote for now.
Totally. Paul Pate. Yeah. Don't vote for that guy. Brenna Burr. Don't vote for her.
Yeah. My game plan was Zach Nunn, Randy Feenstra.
Yeah. The smart thing to do when you get a ballot is like, which names do I recognize? Those are the bubbles you fill in first.
Yeah. Just embrace the median voter mentality.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw that guy on TV one time.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. That's how you do it. That's the path to success in Iowa, is having been on television. 20 years ago, preferably.
Well, where can people find you? And should they listen to your podcast?
I'm in Coralville, Iowa. You can come find me here. It's just to the west of Iowa City. I'm not hard to find. Just come look for my house, knock on my door. I host a podcast called Rock Hard Caucus, which is mostly about Iowa politics, and it's mostly co-hosted by my friend Evan. But we also talk about music and bad TV shows and all that kind of stuff. Like getting a little bit into your stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, I came on. What was it? A few months ago now.
It was at least a couple months ago, I think.
Yeah,
we talked about a William Shatner show called Invasion Iowa.
Invasion Iowa. That's right.
Yeah.
I still need to watch the rest of it. I had a great time. Because you guys got
such
to
a
the
good
end
time
now,
with
right?
the part that you did watch. That you got to see the rest of it. Yeah, we watched the whole thing. Yeah, and we interviewed a guy who was on the show.
Oh, sick! I'm gonna have to go find that. Yeah.
He's Bill Blank. He's a comedian in Des Moines, and he's got a show, but I think it's sold out. But like you can follow Bill Blank. He's active comedy career.
Comedy in Des Moines, so I feel like I should know that name.
It's possible you've met him. Yeah.
Oh, I think we were looking at we were looking at his we were looking at this when I was on because we were initially worried because he's like nothing is off limits.
Yeah. Because you were on the first episode of that, and that's like the part of the show he was on. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll go check him out.
Nice guy. We had a great conversation with him.
Hell yeah. So yeah, listen to Rock Hard Caucus. Yeah.
Go to rockhardcock.us. That's the website. It's CAUC. Like caucus,
Like cock,
but with a dot. Rockhardcock.us is the website.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. This has been fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Great time.
Hey, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you like what you heard, make sure to leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps out with the algorithm. And if you really like what you heard, consider supporting the show on Patreon. And one of the benefits of supporting this show on Patreon is that you get your name read out at the end of every episode. So, without further ado, this episode is brought to you by our lovely patrons who include... I am once again Philip Cozy. I drink corn syrup. Yum. Vita Breva. Avakai Brodagam. Caleb Sutton. Regular sized horse. Parentheses. Small. Kyle Gannis. Moss. The worst of all possible worlds. Stephen aka Spike Stonehand. Gavin Aronson. Joseph Gross. Robert Eilman. Tetcha Francis. Shy. Randy Sutton. Josh Christensen. Caleb Butler. Alex. Frankie Teardrop. Martha Zumack. Benjamin Rawls. Ian Friedenberg. Ian S. James Lunt. A.A. Ron. Grouchiest Marxius. Ruthus Truthus. Electron Shed. Jacob Dallas. Kitty Sparks, Dr. Shockmaster, Lord Zed, Ellie, Evan Jones, Nathan Thiessen, Alan, and of course, Chris Barker. thank you so much for listening to today's episode. And I've got 2 more for you coming up at the end of the month here on the Patreon. So go to the Patreon. Okay, bye.
Let's make them squeal.